How's it going, guys? Back in the cabin, back to work. We've had a little breakaway in Italy and we are back at work in the cabin packing orders on eBay, Shopify, Vinted, Depop, Etsy. Where else? That might be it. Either way, there's a few to do. It's Bank Holiday Monday. I've been working at the shop all day. Well, actually, I went to a car boot sale this morning at 5:30 till about 7:30. And then raced over to the shop to open at 8 o'clock. I've done 8 till 3. The time is now almost 7 o'clock. I've been chilling out watching telly, I've got to admit, but I do want to get these orders out today. When I say today on a bank holiday, who am I sending with? Mostly all every. I've got till 9 o'clock to pack and post these. I think it's about 15 orders today, which is great. So I thought I'd show you a few items. What we've got going out and explain to you what I paid, what the profit is, and that type of stuff. Okay, where are we? Starting off with Andrew, let's have a little look. Get his label. These are a few eBay sales now. This has gone out in the UK. It was bought for about £6 when we were in Wales a few, 7 weeks ago. It was bought for 7, it sold for 38. It's a Rohan blazer. It's kind of like lined, padded lined, which isn't a bad price. You probably remember me saying to you guys, we're going to start doing a few cheaper items online because they can move quick. The whole idea was to be listing things 15, 20, 30 quid because Vinted is like killing it. And I list, 15, 20, 30 items a day. The theory was that all of these would sell on Vinted, but eBay sells quite a few as well. Which, in all honesty, is a bit annoying because they take fees. All added, I think it ends up being for me something like 17%. When you think of promo, professional fees, push promoting, it adds up. So, their percentage on that is probably like 4 quid. So not as good profit as you would think if you were just using Vinted. And that's my advice. If you get a chance to just stay with Vinted, do it. Okay, next one. Now, believe it or not, I actually bought this over a year ago. And I listed it maybe a week ago. No, sorry, I've been away in Italy for 2 weeks. I listed this maybe 3 weeks ago, and it sold today, this morning, it cost me about 50p, and it sold for £23.99p. It's a Deacon Blue tour t-shirt. Oh, I'm gonna have to pause it, Mrs. is calling. I'm back. Eloise was calling me, tell her to pick up a chip shop. She's just been mucking out her horse, and she's starving, and it's raining, so I bet she's going to be a bit miserable. Yeah, so this is a Deacon Blue t-shirt, polo. It was a tour t-shirt, and I actually cleared a little family out at a car boot sale, maybe come with me, maybe a year ago for like 50p a piece. It sold for £23.99. If you don't know Deacon Blue, they did a few tracks in the late 80s and early 90s. Quite a big band here in the UK. I'm pretty sure they're Australian. But long story short, the girl who was selling me all these items, I bought about 20 pieces off her for a tenner. Her uncle was a tour roadie, a bus driver for loads of bands in the early 90s. I don't know why they didn't get listed. A bit stupid, really. But that is the nature of this game, unfortunately. We do all have massive death piles. Just like today, I bought so much stuff, and I don't know when it's going to get listed. So that's good. 50p into 24 quid. You can't argue with that, really, can you? Next one's good as well. This sold for £68.50p. Weird amount. It's going to Japan, which is quite cool, and it is a tonic shirt. When I say tonic, it's got like lots of different colours in the cotton, so like purples, browns, greens, but it's for a solo artist called Bjork. Actually, she's got a band. Either way, you know who Bjork is. Everyone knows who Bjork is. She's a bit crazy. She's like modern day Yoko Ono. Yeah, so that was pretty good. Decent money. 50p into all that money. You know, you can't whinge at it, can you? After fees, you're probably going to get £55, 58 quid on that, which is fantastic. And it's going to Japan. It does need a wash. We're not bothered washing it. And in all honesty, we don't wash much stuff these days. If it's going into the shop, our retail shop, yeah, of course we wash it. We wash stuff then. We have it laundered. Because the missus doesn't like me using our washing machine too much. So we have stuff professionally laundered. And the amount of money we pay is pretty reasonable, to be fair. I've got an accountant, probably spend about 50 quid a week, 40 quid a week. And there's no hassle, is there? So, should have had that laundered. Next up, a pair of Rohan trousers. Everybody knows Rohan. These are staying in the UK. I think they cost about £4, and they sold for £24.64p. They're a women's pair of Rohan hiking trousers. If you don't know Rohan, it's kind of like a hiking brand. It tends to be for older hikers. That's probably the best way of saying it. And when I say older, I mean my age plus, not, you know, because at the end of the day, Patagonia has become more of a fashion brand, hasn't it, than a hiking brand or an outdoors brand, so to speak. You know what I mean. Rohan, in all honesty, their stuff, it's not particularly fashionable. It's all very simple, basic colours and simple silhouettes. It's actually a bit boring, but the quality is there. Ooh. The retail on those wouldn't surprise me if it's something silly like 120 quid. They're called the stretch bags, if you want to do some research on them and check them out. Okay, next up, another little cheap one. We've had quite a few cheap ones today. Sorry it's not very impressive. There are a few good sales. You've probably seen I've listed absolutely shed loads of these. I think I got about 130 from a wholesaler, and these are a little bit older. They're made in USA. They're the Capoline joggers. There's a little willy hole there as well, which is nice, so I suppose you could wear them as kind of long johns, and typically they would be worn underneath work trousers. Because they're sweaty fleece trousers, we did have all of these laundered. My cost of goods on them was about £1 a piece, maybe £2 per piece, and these sold for 18. They're a little bit older. They don't make as much Capoline stuff as Cinchilla these days. Can't remember the exact date, but I think they were like early noughties or late 90s. They're staying in the UK. Just check. Yeah, staying in the UK. The reason I list things like this is because once you've had them all washed and then I've pictured them, you can kind of make, I shouldn't show you this thing, you can kind of make one listing and then copy it so many times. It's super easy. So I don't mind sometimes if we've got lots of the same type of piece, listing shed loads, you know, 50 pairs of trousers, for example. Okay, next one, bit of a better one. These sold for 180 quid. They're a Filson Mackinaw wool pant, style 89, and they have got the pantaloon bib and braces on. Not official ones, but a very nice quality one by a company called Welch. So these are work forestry pants. So 180 quid. My cost of goods on them is good. Let's just say that. I buy wholesale, Filson, as you guys probably know, every single month. I can't say what I spend because I can't say what the cost of goods are because I've had some very long-standing customers that buy Filson from me for a long time, and at the end of the day I'm here to make a profit. That's my business. but you know what I mean. I don't mind with car boot or charity shop finds. Oh, the missus is back. Yeah, so those are great. I wish every single sale was like that, but we've only just turned, I've had so much on since coming back from Italy, we've only just turned holiday mode off. And then absolutely smashed it and had a good day. I wish we'd got some bloody sales like that whilst we're away, because we've spent quite a lot of cash. What's next? Oh, here we go. These are cool. So the next thing is no, not them. The next thing, these were bought from a car boot sale, my local car boot sale, Stafford. They were bought for £10, pair of Nudie women's jeans, and they sold for 40. Don't be fooled by this, guys. $299.95. Just because there's a stupid price on something, it doesn't mean they're ever going to sell for that. I'd be amazed if Nudie sell many jeans for that kind of money, especially women's jeans. These bags. Sorry, guys. Where are all the bloody bags? Okay. Yeah, so looks like I need to order bags. Poly mailers, in other words. Yeah, don't be fooled by these crazy prices, these massively inflated prices. You know, these manufacturers of clothes, what have we got going on here? They're massive. They're not right. Looks like they're for coats. Oh, bugger it, we'll just use these for now. They're a little bit big, but that's okay. Yeah, these companies that, you know, sell clothing $300, $400, $500 per piece, they all get discounted. There's not many that sell for those prices. People are more savvy than they've ever been. They wait for things to drop into sales or go to outlets. It's only people these days that buy, especially Nudie. They're not even made in America. They're not even made in USA. There's not many people who are going to buy a pair of jeans made in Italy, an American brand of jeans that are made in Italy for silly money, are they? It's not, certainly not the denim head crew, like real denim fans. Sorry, I'm babbling. There you go, it makes sense. These aren't staying in the UK, they're going to Italy. But 40 quid, you know, new with tags, $299 on the RRP, and they can only sell for 40 quid online. I'm starting to peel a little bit, really itchy. Okay, next we got a nice piece. It needs a wash actually. Should have washed it. Didn't launder it purely because it's got a bit of leather on it. So this sold for 160 quid online, and you know, we had this in the shop for 90 quid. If we put a little sticker like that, it's because it's online as well. So we take that off. There we go. This is Nigel Caborn, probably 2006, 2005. I can't remember the exact name of the jacket, and I struggled to list it as well. I just wrote chore, jacket, cotton, a few other words. But it sold for 160 online. I think the cost of goods, I bought these from a clear out friend of mine that does clearances, and she cleared a artist in Manchester, and I think the cost of goods ended up being about 17 quid per piece. So 17 quid into 160 is absolutely mega. Need to message Karen as soon as I can to see what else she's got going on soon, because I've not spoken to her for ages. But that was pretty good. And when I say cleared, guys, most of the time I mean someone's passed away. I buy a lot of cleared stock from people that have passed away. Even though, you know, that was quite a modern jacket. The guy who passed was quite a lot older, and his wife didn't want to, they like loaded, and his wife didn't want to get into selling stuff online. She's very comfortable to just do one person clearing it all, and that's what my mate Karen does. She does antiques and furniture and all those type of things, you know, nice expensive bits and bobs, bric-a-brac, and I tend to have all the furniture and clothes from her. Is that the right label? Yeah. So I was mega chuffed with that lot of stuff. I think I've sold almost everything out of her pile. Let's move on to some Shopify's and stuff. Okay, closing tabs. Where are we? Shopify. To get any momentum on Shopify, you have to spend a lot of money and a lot of time advertising. Sometimes it can be frustrating, but we've only just turned it back on, and weirdly people must have had things in their basket because we made a few sales, which is nice. Taking Back Sunday 2004 band tee. It's not a tour tee. I didn't know what Taking Back Sunday was, in all honesty, and I'm a bit of a music lover. Come round. I'm like a bit of a music head, and they're kind of like a post-grunge band, Americana, very American sounding. What did this sell for? Cost me about £1. This did. Sold for 25 plus postage. If you're new to reselling, I'd recommend anything to do with music. If it's cheap, buy it. It's fairly easy to sell. Yeah, you can't really go wrong with music tees. They go really well. Right. More Vinted stuff and every to come. And Yodel. Etsy seems to have turned itself back on, which is really weird. We don't promote on Etsy at all, and I'm just about to turn the promoted listings on eBay off as well, since they've changed the rules. Decided to can that. It's just a waste of money. If you don't know and you've not read your email, they've changed the rules. If somebody buys an item from you that hasn't seen your promoted item on eBay, but somebody else has, so as long as someone's eyes have seen your promotion, let's say like Mr. A, he's seen your item but he didn't buy, and then Mr. B has never seen your promoted item but just goes and searches Kenzo trousers, these are Kenzo trousers by the way, and pays £50 for them, guess what? You're going to have to pay the promotion from now on. So thanks a lot eBay, you absolutely suck. That's the new rule. You're going to pay promoting no matter what, in other words. It's probably the best way of saying it. So I'm turning promoted listings off. I only promote between 3 or 4% anyway, because we kind of sell specialist items. It's probably a waste of time me promoting. I'm probably just throwing 4% away here anyway. The way I kind of look at it is, you know, I've been on eBay, what? Well, since before the millennium, so 25 years. There was no promoted listings back then. And we were selling just fine, so it's all a load of bollocks anyway, isn't it? Okay, let's do some other orders. What else we got going? we're almost there, and I do want to go get a chip shop. I'm on a diet, but I still think I might have something. Just need something. I'm starving. Okay. Let's do this one. It's a bit scruffy on the hanger, but I'll show you anyway. So you probably noticed we've done absolutely loads. I think I bought 100 Pendleton tops, but 10 of which were absolutely knackered. Moth holes. That's the problem with buying wool. Stuff has moth holes, or just, you know, general wear and tear, always covered in little hairs and stuff like this. This is a Pendleton shirt. If you don't know the brand Pendleton, it's a very old workwear brand. It's absolutely fantastic. One of my favourite brands. We sell a lot of Pendleton in our physical shop, on our website, and everywhere else. This is a board shirt or jack shirt, and this is Depop. It sold for 40 quid plus delivery. A lot of the Pendleton stuff is like wacky colours, Aztec, things like that. And this, I knew this would sell quick because their plain ones do, provided they're wool. The cotton shirts are really difficult to sell. The retail on these is something crazy like 110, 140 quid. But I'd say the market is pretty saturated. You know, there was a time that there was only, say, 1,000, maybe 700 shirts in the UK available, or items from Pendleton, sorry, so to speak. Now there's a lot more, and it's a lot more competitive than it used to be. Depop labels. Almost all of my Depop sales stay in the UK. Very occasionally people ask me if I ship abroad, and we make adjustments to the postage. We just do a flat 25 quid on almost everything, and it goes, and I don't keep that on all the time. I only add it to worldwide shipping when people ask for it. All of my Depops go Royal Mail as well. So they charge, what is it, £3.90 for second signed. These are really cool. They only sold for 30 quid, but I love the style of them. I don't think I'd wear this style personally. That's right, I'm just messing around with labels. I like to have a label with massive text on. So these sold for 30 quid, and I'm pretty sure I paid up for them something like 7 quid at a charity shop not far away from me. And I get saved stuff there again. I don't go anywhere near as much as I used to, just because, in all honesty, my wholesale at the moment is killing it, and I've already got people that save me stuff. Look at them, how good are they? They are new. The underneath might look a little bit used, but they're not used. It's kind of like a talcum powder or dust on them. But they're by a company called, oh, there's a sticker there, called Callaghan. Don't know if you're going to be able to see that. Callaghan registered shoe design. However, it says designer with the G on afterwards, Dezing, and then there's no E. Since 1967. I think Callaghan got to be Irish, haven't they? But I don't know anything about the brand. I'm not pretending to be an expert. I just picked them up because I thought they look new. No box, unfortunately. And I love the style of them. I guess they're a bit hipster, aren't they? God, you can tell I'm a bit out of touch. Don't know where anything is. Okay. All we do with them is shoes, 9 times out of 10, unless they're like 60, 70 pounds plus, we'll use a second-hand box then, and I do save them. But for a £30 pair of shoes, they go in a little bit of bubble and then in a new poly mailer. Okay. Ooh. And that works just fine. Sorry, I just stopped you. Again, staying in the UK. I've had enough and I'm hungry. Let's do one more. Let's just do one more. We'll do the rest later on or first thing tomorrow. Here we go. This one's nice. £36.09. Another Pendleton shirt, but a really good colourway. And I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but the tag is older than the last one. This is a 70s tag. Men's large. If you don't know Pendleton, the wool ones are so warm. You don't need them. You don't need a jumper in the winter with these on. They are really lovely and warm. I personally don't find them itchy, but quite a few people do. They are wool. Yeah, and they can be a bit itchy in all fairness. My dad doesn't like them, whereas I think I'm just used to mine. I probably found them itchy at the beginning. Takes some getting used to. As everything does, doesn't it? I can't wear a suit. I'm very, very uncomfortable in a suit, just standing like that. Yeah, so £36.09 on that. We took an offer. We tend to list them, if there's little holes on them like that, we tend to list them for £39.99. And in all honesty, if there's little holes on them, I'll take most offers. A guy bought one earlier on, he's not paid yet, for £21. It's cool with me. The way I look at it is, it's got a hole in it, you know, you're not going to get 40, 50 quid for them. So just be reasonable. Just think about getting your money back on damaged items as quick as you can, and always, before you post it, remind the buyer that there are a few issues. And I always think if you send them a message saying thanks for the purchase, just want to make sure you've seen that it's got a few holes. I feel like it almost makes them agree, so they can't return it and say, oh, this item's got holes, you know, I want to return it. If you sent them that message and they acknowledge it, they have to kind of accept, yeah, well, I knew it was coming with holes, so I'm not going to return it to this dude, am I? But yeah, that's it really. Let's go get some chips. Thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. If you enjoy this type of content, please keep following me. Give me a subscription or like or comment or anything to help me grow the channel, and I'll keep making videos like this. They seem to do okay. We've got a sale going on our website soon, so we're probably going to have to do a lot more packing videos very soon. But yeah, thanks very much. See you on the next one.